Hello YouTube, this is Silver Age Dave. I am here at Cameron's Comics and Stuff, Bowling Green, Ohio. This is one of my favorite LCSs, and it's Comic Book Wednesday. Amazing Spider-Man just came out, so I was here to get a copy of that. You come to the store, it's really nice and clean. We got a couple of puppy dogs come and greet you. Some neat artwork up here. It's always nice and neat. One of the cool things about the store, that's Cameron there, and that's John.
Hey guys.
And one of the awesome things here, when you come in the store, every book is bagged and boarded. You don't have to worry about any spine wear or any little nicks or dings. The comic books are treated with respect. This is the stuff that came out in the last few weeks. This whole wall, as you can see, just really organized. It's just a great store. They take pride in what they do. Okay, and it's a fairly new store. John's got a bunch of back issue stuff that's not here yet, so it is a little limited on back issue, but what he has here is really a nice collection of stuff, and he's always willing to work with you on things. Just a good guy. He does do a podcast, and so anyone who listens to podcasts, this is his thing. It's called Two Beers and a Pull List. So if you check that out, you just tell him Silver Age Dave sent you. I don't even know if you do that on a podcast, but that's the booth right there where they do their show. Always entertaining. So you come on over this way, and this is where you get the new releases. And the other thing I like, I call ahead and I say, hey John, I'd like this or that, and he's always, more than willing to work with me and set things aside. They've got some other cool items here in the cases. I'll try not to go too fast. It's just a great store. And one of the things I really liked, I was thinking of Joker 68 in all his videos. So of course we got our little Joker statue here. This one's got a bowl of candy in it though. Joker, yours always has comic books on it. Alright, and then we got some cool games. Bowling Green, Ohio is a college town, and so they do have some, just some independent stuff that they sell here from time to time. They got some stuff here for the kids. I do like they keep all their dollar issues here, all the True Believers and the Marvel, or in the Image First, some of the DC dollar titles. Those are always easy to get to. This is that section I was talking about where they do independent stuff, and just a nice place you can pick up some things that you maybe wouldn't see anywhere else. There's some, I don't know, those are maybe homemade books. The heat just kicked on. It's pretty chilly here in Northwest Ohio, so now we're backing up, and that's the new release rack again. And that reminds me, I'm going to grab another one of these True Believer #1s, Venom and Spider-Man. Anyway, YouTube, this is our newest LCS. It is absolutely a great one, and I just thought I'd give a little tour. Anybody local who is in the area wondering what this place looks like, this is what it looks like. And I will attach to this video a card, and so you can, maybe go online and get a little better perspective. If you see something here you like, reach out to John. I'm sure he would be happy to work with you. And anyway, this is Silver Age Dave, Bowling Green, Ohio, and just let it go out in silence. Cool store. All right, so that is a, like I said, it's just really a nice store. The dogs are always friendly. I mean, they run up, they're sitting right at your feet. I think that's a cool little ambiance for a comic store. But anyway, so moving on, I've hit at the time I'm making this video, I've hit 3 stores, and I've got 2 more that I want to get into. And normally I would have just stopped after Cameron's, but I have a couple of things that that one of the other stores had for me on order. So so I'm going to do that. So a cool surprise today. I did spend over $50 in Cameron's Comics. His new things he's got going. If you spend more than $50, you get a free short box, which I just bought a bunch of short boxes, but I always need short boxes. So I thought that was a cool thing. So I'm going to just set that down and we'll just work out of the box. Okay, so, you know, these are just as they're coming out. So, of course, you know, you get the weeklies here, tell you what's going on. So I got those papers. We'll just set those here. I did pick up a couple of copies of this True Believers #1 Venom Spider-Man. And I think it's a neat issue. I think these are going to sell out. And John was telling me he doesn't think they're going to reprint these like they did. Like I think they reprinted the Hulk 181. But I don't think they're going to do them. So I did pick up a couple of these. And I might get a couple more. That is a meaty issue. There's a lot going on there. I went through... They're going to be having a sale starting next week on their back issue bins. But I was going through a bin he had. And he gave me these... He didn't have them priced yet, but he gave me these for 25 cents a piece. We've got the DC Silver Age Classics. Okay, of course, we've got our Justice League. We've got our Showcase 22. Okay, we have our Adventure Comics 247. And we have Sugar and Spike number 99 was in there. I thought those were neat. And this was in there, Mr. Hero #1. I just threw that in there. So quarter a piece though, that is not bad. So now I have some cool classic readers. I do like keeping those things. Those are the things I don't mind sharing with the kids. So then, you know, while I was shopping, John went in to the area where he does his podcast, and he said, "Hey Dave, I don't know if you're interested in these." He said, "I originally bought the whole set." He was at a con for his store, and he bought the whole set when they first came out. He said, "You know what, unfortunately I sold off #1 and 2, but I still have these if you're interested in them. You know, just let me know what you want to pay." And so we have the original Stabity Bunny #3, #4, and #5. And he gave me a great price on these 3. I wish that he had 1 and 2, but if he did, I couldn't afford them. This is a $1,500 to $2,000 set if #1's in there. So he gave me these basically like $8 a piece, and I like them. I think I have a copy of #5 already, but for $25, I thought, you know what, maybe someday I'll find #1 and 2 in a collection somewhere, and I'll say, boy, I wish I would have bought the 3, 4, and 5. So, you know, I have those. I think they're kind of neat, and it certainly is topical right now. So we have those. That was a real nice surprise, getting those. I found, I'll do this. I'll do some of this stuff. So in the back issue bin, I found this issue, 104, which I thought now Carl's out of the show, maybe that would go up in price. So he had $10 on it, so I wasn't going to argue. I added that in. And he had some other Walking Dead, but I at that point I thought, oh, I'm probably going to be spending some money, so you know, I don't want to go too crazy. So I added on a Thanos 16 onto the list. He had that in like, you know, the last week's an older section. And I thought, oh, you know what? I only picked up one of those. I kind of missed out on that whole thing, so I'll get another one. So, you know, I took that up, and when I set that on the front counter, I was kind of the only person in there at that point. When I set that on the counter, I said, hey, do you have, you don't have any of 15, do you? And he said, no. And I had found in his, you know, the back issue area, I found copies of 14, which were sitting there. And I thought, oh, heck, I'll just, you know, I'll add those in. And you know, just at cover price. I thought that's cool. So I'll just, you know, maybe I'll you know, get a couple more 16s and I'll hunt down 15. So I thought that was great. He didn't try to mark those up at all. I know those are selling a little bit more, probably in a lot of places. So then he said, well, Dave, the one you really want is this one, is number 13. And I'm going to cover up the price on there. And I said, oh, geez, you know, John, I didn't think you'd have that one. You know, absolutely, I'll take it. And again, I didn't want to haggle with him. And he said, well, Dave, how many do you want? And so immediately I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, how many do you have? And he said, you know, I think I have 3 or 4 of those, Dave. And I said, well, yeah, if you can find them. And he had to hunt around. He had them in like a couple different places, but, you know, a couple were behind the counter. One was upstairs in his office. And so $7.99 each. I ended up picking those up today, which... how many LCS owners are going to do that for you? All right, so that was a terrific little surprise. You know, coming away with those, which I was looking for, kind of after the fact. John knows that I've been collecting the 797 or the 795, 796, and so I walked in and he said, "Hey, Dave, I got you know, that Amazing Spider-Man behind the counter for you," and sure enough, there's my 797, and he also had set aside for $5.99 this variant, which I saw today at another LCS for 50 bucks. I couldn't believe it. And so he gave me that, and he also gave me this issue for $5.99. So I tell you what, I appreciate it. That is the kind of stuff you don't forget, or if you do forget it, you know, shame on you. That is some very generous stuff. And then to round out, you know, what I spent at Cameron's today, I've got, you know, Walking Dead 177. If that show is ever going to come around, it's through comic books and new characters. So I am buying Walking Dead. He had this issue, the October faction, and, you know, I'm getting into the horror stuff. So I thought, boy, I missed out on Ice Cream Man. Maybe we'll give this one a spin, see what that's all about. And then I, just for giggles, I threw in, someone had shown the Ant-Man and Wasp as a pickup. So that is my experience today at Cameron's Comic. So with that is going to be Silver Age Dave. Sorry for the long haul update, but that tour of the store I think is worth it, so I want to include that. Silver Age Dave is out.